Hi, my name is Samriti and I am a second year student studying International Business at the University of Applied Sciences, Jamk in Jyväskylä. I will be taking you through the subject of working as a foreigner in Finland in this video. Non-Finnish citizens who live outside of Finland can come into Finland to work. For those that come from outside the EU and EEA regions, they would need to apply for a residency permit that gives them the right to work before they can come into Finland. To do this, they would need to have a job in Finland with an employer who is willing to apply for a work permit on their behalf. For the people in this situation, there are two possible ways. The first is that they already work for a company which has a branch in Finland and are transferring their position to the Finnish branch of the company. The second way is that they would have to apply for an open job position from outside of Finland. In this case, they would have to go through the process and those who live in Finland have to go through in order to get a job. This includes finding a suitable job, applying for a job, attending an interview before being given the job. For those in this situation, it would be good to know that preferences for open job go first to those who live in Finland, followed by those who live in the EU before others are considered. It is important to note that residency permits have different rights to work, with some having restrictions on the kind of work that can be done. As such, it is important to find out if you are given a work permit, what kind of restrictions, if there are any, that come with the permit. There are two types of visas, the A or the B type, that are given to the people from outside the EU or EEA countries to live in Finland. These are marked on the residency permit cards. Here is some more information about the differences between the two types of visas.
So people outside of the EU countries or EEA countries can have certain restrictions regarding the work that they can do and also the amount of time they can dedicate to this work. Those with an A-type visa have no restrictions at all. However, those with the B-type visa might have some restrictions. Therefore, it is very important for people with a B-type visa to carefully check all the restrictions that they may have. They can be found through the Finnish immigration services.
Two examples of those who have restrictions are the students and au pairs. In the case of students, they are expected to work for a maximum of 25 hours on average in 1 week. For au pairs, they must be between the ages of 17 and 30, and their employment agreement must be such that it allows them to learn the Finnish or Swedish language as well as the culture. Finnish employers normally have the requirements. The first of these is that the person that is applying for the job is qualified to do the job. In most cases, this would require a diploma from an educational institution. For those with the foreign qualifications, there is the possibility to have those qualifications recognized in Finland. This is done by the Finnish Board of Education. Employers might also have some additional requirements based on the kind of work that is an offer. These might include working experiences in the field or some passes and cards that are required to do the job. Examples of these are the hygiene pass for those who work in the catering field or safety and fire passes for those whose work might involve those risks. If, as a foreigner, you already have these passes from your country of origin, you would need to have it recognized. Information on how and where you can do this can be found from the Finnish Board of Education. For those with the A-type visas who are registered as unemployed, the Finnish government, through the employment offices, offers language courses to them as a part of the law that aims to support the new immigrants with their integration into the Finnish society. For students, there are language courses that are offered by the universities and the universities of applied sciences. In addition, some organizations such as the Adult Education Centers, Workers' Institutes, Adult High Schools and Open Universities also offer the language courses. It is also possible to learn the language independently using courses that are available on the internet. An important point to note for those who live in Finland is that one of the best ways to learn the language is through the practice. This would mean speaking, reading and listening to the language whenever possible. Job vacancies can normally be found either on the internet, in the newspapers or through word of mouth. It is therefore important to listen out for such possibilities when looking for jobs. On the internet, vacancies can be found on job search websites or employers' own websites, as well as on Finnish government's employment offices websites like mol.fi. The languages used in these websites are normally Finnish, Swedish and English. To make an application, the requirements are a well-prepared CV and a job application. The idea behind both is to highlight the skills and the suitability for the job which the applicant has. Job applications can be made by either filling out an online application form on the website of the employer, sending a CV and a cover letter through either an email or the post, or calling the employer directly. For those finding it difficult to gain employment, the government also provides possibilities to improve their employability. This includes internship and apprentice programs, as well as wage subsidies that employers might get for employing those with the difficulties in getting the jobs. For those that are entitled to these, it is worth adding this information on your job application. Those shortlisted for a job are normally informed as well as given information related to interviews where that is required. The purpose of the interview is to find out how suitable an applicant is for the job. In some cases, there could be more than one interviews, something you have to be prepared for. Here's Pia Huninen, the Education Secretary of the School of Business at Jamk, with some tips and advice on attending a job interview in Finland.
Okay, so when you're going to the interview, before you go, I think that it's best if you prepare some questions, because most probably the person in front of you will ask that, do you have any questions for us? And then it's good that you don't have to start like wondering in that occasion that what to do, what to ask, so that you have some well-prepared questions for that person. For example, like how is the work culture in the company, or how do you measure my work? And you could also ask about some details about the position that you're applying for, so that you can show that you have done the homework. And also you can ask that, could you see the strategy of the company, so that you can see that you have the vision and you are goal-oriented. And on the day of the interview, it's important that you go there on time, maybe 15 minutes before the interview starts. And remember to bring your diplomas, work certificates, work references with you. And the first impression counts, so firm handshake, eye contact, wear clean clothes, and just be yourself. Don't be too like over trendy, or don't look like your grandma. And good luck for the interview.
After the interview process, the employer contacts those who have been accepted with an offer for the job. if you accept the job offer, a contract has to be made between you and the employer regarding the conditions that both of you agree upon for you to do the job. Contracts can be made on paper where both you and the employer sign the agreement. They can also be sometimes made through email as well as verbally. The written contract is the most advisable to use when possible. There are a number of important agreements that have to be stated on the contract. These include the duties that you are expected to perform, the date that you will begin the work, the number of hours in either a day, week or month that you are expected to work for, as well as the wages you will be getting and when you will be getting them for doing the work. In addition, the contract should state the place that you are expected to do the work, the holidays that you are entitled to, and the possible probationary period as well as the period of notice for both yourself and the employer to break the contract should also be stated. Finland does not have a minimum wage, and so the conditions of pay are determined by the collective labor agreements. In terms of the period of employment, the contract can either be a permanent ongoing one or it could be a fixed term contract. This too has to be stated in the contract, and in the case when it's a fixed term contract, the law requires that the reason for why it's a fixed term contract has got to be stated. Most workers in Finland belong to a trade union. Trade unions assist the workers with advice on issues that are related to employment as well as look after the interests of the worker. Trade unions also have unemployment funds which their members belong to. The point of this fund is that it collects the payments from the trade union members who work. This can be seen as an assurance for the time when the workers does not have any work. When that happens, money is taken out of the fund and paid to the worker. This amount is normally larger than the amount could be received from the Finnish state in the form of unemployment benefits. It is therefore advisable for the workers once they begin a job to join a trade union. An important value of the Finnish society is equality. This can be seen in the workplace, where people, regardless of their position, address each other on a first name basis. In addition, the opinions of all are generally taken into account when there is some planning related to work. Another important Finnish value that can be seen in the workplace is the trust. Workers are expected to be trustworthy, and there is an expectation that when something is agreed upon, it is done. This means that the supervisors do not need to look out over the shoulders of the workers to make sure that the work is being done. This trust also extends to the workers being allowed the room to develop their own methods on getting the job done. As was mentioned earlier, timekeeping is important to Finnish people. As such, it is important to arrive at work on time as well as to be on time for the meetings. This keeping to time also extends to the conclusion of projects which are normally expected to be finished at the agreed upon time. It is considered important for the workers to express themselves, and so if you encounter any problems in the working place, it is expected that you are the person that brings it up. Foreigners can start the businesses in Finland. Those living outside the country can come into Finland to start a business. To be able to get a residency permit on these grounds, your business must have to be registered with the Patent and Registry Board. After the registration, 2 applications have to be made. The first to the Center for Economic Development, Transport and Environment. After that application has been approved, another application will then have to be made to the Immigrant Services. who could then issue the residency permit. It is advisable to investigate the requirements from both these agencies before making the applications. For those who live in Finland and who would like to start a business, free advice on what to do can be received from the Centers for Economic Development, Transport and Environment, the employment offices, the Finnish enterprise agencies, as well as Enterprise Finland. These agencies could help you with advice on a number of issues. These include how to turn your business idea into a business plan, organizing the finances and registering the company. My name is Simriti and I hope that you enjoyed watching this video and would like to thank you for your time. Please check out the other videos in this series from the links provided. And there are also some links to useful further reading provided too. Thank you and goodbye.